What is going on, Panther? We are back talking about the Pittsburgh Panthers' home loss to the Syracuse Orange this past Tuesday night. Now, I want to talk a little bit about why I think Pitt struggled offensively at the very beginning of this game. When they struggle to start games, it's because they tend to try to establish Corhen early. At least I feel like they do that more often than not. And when that doesn't work out, then the offense looks really out of sync. So let's take a look at some possessions here early in the game. So this one coming out of like semi-transition, nobody's fault that this ends up being like a Zach Austin, Corhen, empty side. But as Austin drives this ball and Eddie Lampkin slides over to prevent like a layup here and to curb the dribble penetration, Corhen needs to like vacate the space into the middle of the floor, just given kind of the passing angle and window that's going to be here. Keeping in mind that Zach Austin is not like a player that has like a high amount of live dribble variability or playmaking, although that is improving, and I'm more bullish on this by the game. But it says he like curls back here, and this becomes like an impossible passing angle for Austin. And most players, honestly, like he's expecting them to go here because this is going to be a dunk attempt at the very least, or a layup or a foul on Lampkin less than 1 minute into the game, who already battled foul trouble in this one. So just trying to work with Corhen and get on the same page with him, like, it doesn't mean that this had to be a turnover, but there's so many other things that Pitt could do early. And again, this is just Austin making a read, making a play. If Corhen slides into this space, then it's fine. But this just isn't a play, like kind of like a heads up thing that he's going to do a lot. And when you let the offense come to Corhen, it's better than when, you know, you're trying to find ways to get him involved. And maybe this isn't an example of that. Maybe this is a situation where they just, like I said, they end up on this side together. Austin tries to make a play. My point is more like, you know, Corhen isn't really someone you're trying to like hunt to get a lot of shot opportunities, in my opinion, on this team. And this is just one of the things that can happen when you're trying to run some two-man with a guy who's like best when he only his only real decision making is to like try to roll and dunk the ball. Okay. A little bit later here, I do like the DHO pitch back, and I think Corhen, last time I did give him his flowers after the Miami game. Like, if he is decisive here, gets contact, and then immediately dives, he has a lot of uses. Like, they could use the spacing he creates by just collapsing defenses. So he does have some ability here. I think you just want to put him in a situation where he doesn't have to make a lot of like decisions, and then you're probably going to be fine. But here, he slides here, and they're going to try to make this pass from Guillermo Diaz-Graham. Now, Guillermo's like a pretty good passer, so this is possible, but like Ishmael Leggett is cheating so far, or his defender is cheating so far over because he's got to tag Corhen as like the only weak side defender here, that this is another tough situation. Again, maybe the design here isn't necessarily to keep force-feeding Corhen, but they do this quite a bit, and they do try to get him looks on like the left block quite a bit. But this is just a guy that it's hard to really run offense for, that you're hoping to get, you know, maybe 2 or 3 quick baskets so the defense has to think about it. I don't think this is the way to go about it. And you'll see here again a little bit later in the first half, and they run again an empty side, more design, pick and roll here with Brandon Cummings. This is a pretty good read because 2 go to the ball. And Corhen, look, he's capable of making the shot, but he ends up, you know, leaving it on the front iron. It's not really even contested, and then Syracuse goes the other way. So this isn't like a bash Corhen session, because there's plenty of things that he can do to help the team. But when you're trying to make an effort to get him going early, yeah, he had 17 points against Miami, but I feel like a lot of that is just because, you know, you just find him within the flow of the offense. When you're actively trying to do things and you're a little bit more tunneled vision to do it, I think you limit yourself. Whereas, you know, if you're just kind of free-flowing and there's pick and rolls and you're finding him as, you know, 2 go to the ball, those types of things, that's great. When you're trying to, like, actively involve him in certain actions, I just don't think it works out great. And so not every one of these is like, hey, we're absolutely doing this for Cam. But at the same time, you know, early in this game, they did look for him, and it was either a turnover or an empty possession, because I thought, like, Ishmael Leggett's first 2 shots in this game actually weren't that bad. But just if you've watched the early part of Pitt's games, when they try to get him on the low block, when they try to do these things, the offense is just a little bit more sluggish, and I think you can get more out of the team and more out of Corhen if you just wait and let things happen naturally.